Hello and welcome to the Modern Prairie Homestead. Today I'm going to show you how to make a chocolate cheesecake with a chocolate ganache and chocolate whipped cream on top. I always top this with strawberries, but raspberries or just chocolate shavings would be just fine. So you could use a round pan for this or a rectangular pan. The pan I'm using is 13 inches by 9 inches. For our base, we're going to add 1¼ cup of crushed graham crackers and 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. To this, we're going to add 1/3 cup of melted butter. And 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And once it is all combined evenly, we're going to add it directly to our pan. We're going to push this down. I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 for 10 minutes. Okay, now we're going to get started on the inside of our cheesecake. So for our cheesecake, we are going to need 1/4 cup of hot coffee. I'm just using instant coffee. You can use any kind of hot coffee. And then to that, we are going to add 3 cups of room temperature cream cheese. So this was sitting out for a couple hours before I began filming today. So 3 whole bars, 3 cups of room temperature cream cheese. And then to a stove top pot, I'm going to add 1 cup of milk chocolate chips and 3/4 cup of dark chocolate chips. I'm going to get these melted and then add them to the pot. So I'm just going to get my cream cheese and coffee to begin the beating process. Okay, so I'm going to add my melted chocolate. Help bribe the cream cheese off of this mixer. Perfect. Now I'm going to add 4 eggs. One tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1 cup of sugar, a 1/4 cup of sour cream, and 3 tablespoons of flour. That was a guesstimate, so. Now I'm going to grab our pan out of the oven. We are going to bake this at 325 for 20 minutes, and then we are going to drop the temperature down to 300 and bake it for another 30. So our cheesecake has been in the oven for 20 minutes at 325. I'm going to turn it down to 300. And I'm going to continue to bake this for another half an hour. There's about 10 minutes left to bake our cheesecake. I'm just going to go ahead and make our chocolate ganache, because when the cheesecake comes out, I'm going to coat this on the top, and then we are going to put it in the fridge for a rushed cooling. We are going to eat this cheesecake tonight, so I am going to put it straight in the fridge once I get it out of the oven, which usually causes your cheesecake to crack, but we are going to cover the top so you won't even notice. If you're bringing this to a gathering, it doesn't matter at all if your cheesecake cracks. It just means that you didn't give it a long period to cool. So as soon as this is out of the oven, I'm going to cover it in the ganache, fire it in the fridge. It will probably crack. It's okay. We are going to cover it in our whipped cream and strawberries, and nobody is even going to know. If you have a long time, you can let this cool on the counter at room temperature, and that will prevent your cheesecake from cracking. Like I said, for this case, it really doesn't matter. So I'm gonna make the ganache. You're going to need half a cup of heavy whipping cream, and mix that with half a cup of chocolate chips plus 1 tablespoon. I'm just gonna heat this up on the stove. You're just gonna melt this on the stove until it's this nice, runny, chocolatey consistency. So our cheesecake is looking pretty good. I'm gonna pull it out of the oven, cover it in ganache. We've had our dinner, our cheesecake has cooled off. I'm gonna start making our whipped cream. So for our whipped cream topping today, we are going to need a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar mixed with 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And then in our mixing bowl, I'm gonna put 2 cups of heavy cream, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. For me, whatever's left in my vanilla extract. I'm going to add my cocoa powder and my icing sugar to my vanilla extract. We're going to whip this until it is whipped cream.